Well, all right, all right. It's good to see everybody. It's your boy Jay McLovin here on the Whiskey Hour podcast, where our goal is to bring the water cooler conversations to the masses. And what a time it is. If you want to catch more of our content, please check us out on all of our socials on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, you name it. We're probably out there somewhere lurking and creeping. So give us a shout out, give us a subscribe. We don't bite. Without further ado, let's go to our next live, which is Dubby Energy Drinks. Man, listen, if you want to have a good energy time, but you don't want to be the jitters or all freaked out at work as you're hyped up, a little hyper than you normally would be, you go get you some Dubby. It comes in different flavors. I tried a couple of them, didn't do too bad for me. Get a little shaker bottle, you're good to go. And just for that, you use promo code ESEN for 10% off. God, I love savings. Even if it's $5, I love savings. I'm cheap, but it's okay. But yeah, listen, we got a special treat before we bring in our guest. And Logan will play that for us now.
I comb my veins with some rusty scissors. I screamed his name till the neighbors called the cops. I numbed the pain at the expense of my liver. Don't know what I did next, all I know I did. Word got around to the fireflies and the Baptists. My mama's rose started ringing off. I can hear him now saying she ain't gonna have it. It don't matter how you feel, it only matters how. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my hand. Jolene, 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 please don't take it just because you can.
I tell you what, nobody rocks curlers. By the way, Celeste, the last time I saw curlers like that was in the early 1980s, and my granny, who stood about 5'6", full-on Cherokee Indian, and she would always walk around with some big curlers like that. But nobody rocks curlers like that, and a dress and a piano, and can do it as well as you. I got to give you props. You did Dolly Parton's Jolene. You did a little Miranda. What's her name again? Miranda Gilbert. Say it for me correctly.
Miranda Lambert.
Thank you. I don't know why that name always gives me fits to say. I don't know why. But nobody does it like you, Celeste. I got to tell you.
Well, I was just getting ready. I mean, how do you think I get my hair to look like this?
I don't know. I don't have that kind of hair. I don't have that kind of hair, Celeste. I don't even think I could fill up one roller. You're over there filling up like 20.
I think we could roller your beard and then undo it, and then we'll match.
Now that is a possibility. God knows my wife yesterday, Melanie, she took this hair dryer to comb, and because my beard curls up, so it's actually really long, but it curls up. But when she blows it out, it's down to like here or something. But
oh my gosh, you're beating me.
Well, I hope you don't have a beard.
I don't have a beard.
If I'm beating you, we got problems.
I'd be really confused too.
But no, for those of you who don't know, this is the second interview we've done with Celeste. I consider Celeste to be a very, very close and dear friend, not only to myself, but my wife and my family. We all love her to death. She's a sweetheart, very infectious, very goofy person, but just what an incredible human being. Celeste, you're amazing. I want to go over a couple of her awards real quick, just so we can get that out of the way and kind of familiarize for those who have not seen Celeste up until now. Kind of get a little bit more familiar with some of the things that she's done in the industry, as it is a very early on in her career right now. She's a member of Grammy U, second runner-up to Texas State Songwriters Championship, 2025 Josie Award nominee for Emergent Artist of the Year, Story Enhanced Performance Video of the Year for Female and Vocalist of the Year, Multi-Genre Female. Guess you don't have a lot going on in your life, do you, Celeste? You need some more?
Yeah, I think
extracurriculars?
do, yeah. Something like that.
I mean, 'cause that's not all you do. For those of you who don't know, she's also, correct me if I'm wrong, because I may be wrong, it's been a little while, but you also you've shown horses and did things with horses as well.
Oh yeah, I started riding before I could walk. My mom put me on a horse, held my foot where it needed to be. I come from a family of riders, so it's not new. Although my brother and I are the first English riders in the family because we've never done what we're supposed to before in our lives. So
I always say that's probably some English riders. I'm thinking like, damn, there's more than one kind of rider.
no, yeah,
Just one way to ride a horse, but we're talking. Oh, you got the Belgium, you got the Spanish, you got the Soviet. I mean, I didn't know, Celeste. Is there more than just one way to ride a damn horse?
a lot of ways to ride a horse. You know, you've got the Western riders, and there are multiple disciplines within the Western community. It's not just one. So you got English, right? So that's where you got the little butter saddle, you know, the tiny saddle.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got hunter, jumper. You've got the flat, which we call dressage, and then you've got derbies.
I bet you do got derbies.
They've got so the derbies, you've got hunt derbies and jump derbies. Okay.
But again, I'm just clarifying for those of us out here in the community that grew up in suburbs with concrete and curbs and things like that, where there's only about 5 feet between your house and the neighbor's house, that maybe only have a mid-sized backyard that could barely accommodate a poodle. What exactly there are that's out there for us suburban people that necessarily don't have access to horses or saddles or things of that nature? What a time to be alive. And I didn't know any of this. I mean, this is my first time living out in the country. So Celeste, pardon me, because I'm still getting used to this whole country atmosphere. It's a very new way of life for me. But no, seriously, you've done a lot, and that's not all that you've done. I mean, folks, just when you think that this girl hasn't done enough, now she's a novelist. She's published under C.M. Wilson. No, that's right. They wouldn't do that for you.
They published my first poem ever published was published under Celeste Marie Wilson, and that's why I go by that name.
Yeah, because if she'd have had her way, it'd have been C.M. Wilson.
That way I could be fancy. You know, it rolls off the tongue. C.M. Wilson.
It sure does. J.K. Rowling kind of like.
Kind of vibe. It's okay. My mom and dad like that it's Celeste Marie Wilson because they're like, yeah, we chose that name.
You know, and I can see that. And it's a good name. It actually kind of rolls off the tongue. Celeste Marie Wilson. I mean, it kind of does flow. And it really does have a kind of a country, southerny, rocky vibe. You know, and I honestly, I'm glad you didn't go by your C.M. Wilson. I'm kind of glad maybe that guy stuck to his guns, did what he did. Maybe made you a little mad, but you got over it. And now you realize the beauty of the way your name is and the way you present your name. I think it worked out well for you. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I think someone looking into your life gives you more insight as to what your life is than you just looking at it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes you do need that third party perspective or second party perspective to see things in a different way or maybe in a different lens. I want to throw this out there real quick. So me and Celeste, so we had a party at the house and Celeste and Carson Clay came out and they played their music for us. And it was amazing. I thought it turned out really, really well. And then at the end of the night, you know, because Celeste is kind of fiery. Some might even say competitive.
No, never.
Some might say that, though.
Never.
Some might say that. And I thought to myself, and I don't know how this came about, but somehow it came about that, because on my street, so my house is in a cul-de-sac. So it's cul-de-sac to cul-de-sac, straight line road. And in between, or right in the middle of the street, is another street that connects to it, like a little T intersection. And Celeste got the idea, or I got the idea, or maybe we both got the same, I don't quite remember, but it was put out there that we should race. And I tell you, she is a lot faster than I thought. I won by nose.
No, you didn't win. We tied.
Oh, I didn't win?
We tied, remember?
Did we tie?
We tied.
Are you sure? Because the video replay. Okay. Okay.
Oh.
But okay, but we'll leave it as a tie. We'll leave it as a tie. But I do remember Celeste saying, "Well, you know, Jay, I'm out here running in bare feet, and you got shoes on." Because I didn't have a reply right away for that. I just kind of let her have that moment. But then I thought about it after she had left, and I said, "Because me and Melanie, we talked." I said, "Melanie, I tied Celeste. Apparently, it was a tie." She said though that she probably would have won had she had shoes on. And Melanie said, "Well, you know, Jay, she probably would have beat you anyway. But did you tell her you got replaced surgical knees?" I said, "No, I did not." And she said, "Well, maybe, you know," my point, I think, that would be in derivative, as you didn't have shoes on, but I'm 52 years with surgically replaced knees. So, Celeste, I think at the end of the day, it was a classic tie. I had bad knees, you had no shoes.
I had shoes on. I had a dress on.
Actually, I think the dress helped you because there was less friction.
Okay.
You're just free running.
I'm just free running.
You're just free running.
Okay.
At the end of the day, though, I'm going to call it a tie. You're going to call it a tie. And I suggest the next time we have a get together, which will be July 11th, because she's going to come back. Arthur Clay are coming back to play again. And so on July 11th, this is what's going to happen. I am going to train really, really hard between now and July 11th.
I've been running.
You don't do no training. You're good to go. You're young. You got good knees. I got to train. And this time, Celeste, I will make sure. I will call you the night before, and I will tell you, Celeste, I will call you on July 10th. And I'm going to say, Celeste, tomorrow, which is July 11th, I need you, when you come over to the house to play for us, I need you to bring a pair of running shoes and some socks. And then we're going to do this. And then we're going to replay. And it's going to be video. I'm going to video it this time. I'm going to have Melanie go all the way down to Mountain Court, and I'm going to have her videotape so we can see exactly what happens in real time, who comes across the line first. Because I don't want no controversies this time. No controversies.
One.
Okay.
But
Celeste.
before we get off that topic,
Yeah,
one
go ahead.
not in my favor.
Yes.
How tall are you, Jay?
I'm 5'9" on a good day.
5'2".
You're 5'9"?
I'm 5'2".
Yeah, you're 5. Yeah.
So I don't have as much leg on me.
Nah, see, that would normally fly, but I've seen you around. You got a lot of extra energy. See, because the problem is, Celeste, I don't have as much energy anymore as I'm old.
Oh, okay.
And so you have more energy than I. Look, don't worry about it, Celeste. No excuses. No excuses.
Oh, my bad. No excuses.
No excuses.
Excuses are for losers, and I'm gonna win.
Yeah, and people with competitive spirits, we don't give excuses. So we're gonna do it again. Melanie's gonna videotape at the finish line.
I will laugh at you this time because it's gonna be filmed, and I can't get that out there.
We'll keep that privatized. What a time to be alive. Real quick, for those that do want to see Celeste, I want to throw out a couple of concert dates I know you got coming up real quick. You got August 29th. I know you're going to be at Double D's Barbecue out in Bluffdale, Texas.
Yes.
It looks like you're performing from 7:30 to 9. The doors will open up at 7. That sounds like a lot of fun. I have never been to Bluffdale. I know it's about 180-ish miles away from me, give or take.
Yeah.
So that's one date I know you have coming up. The other date I wrote down that you have coming up, which is really one of my more favorite dates I think that you're going to be playing at, and I'm going to really work hard to try to carve out time because I want to come see you do this, is at All Dot Storage. That's the name of the place, All Dot Storage. It's out in, I want to say it's Trinity Crossing Circle in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
That you'll be playing there August the 9th. It starts at 8 a.m. It goes all the way to 3 p.m. But I like it. It's a beautiful event that they're doing. Supports children's hospitals across Texas, which I don't think that could ever get enough love. They're going to have barbecue, jumper houses, live music, silent auctions, and a 50-50 raffle. I mean, that sounds like a hell of a good time to me. And I think it supports a really good cause.
It does. It's gonna be a good time. And they have face paint, if that's something you're into.
Oh yeah, Celeste. I'm
Yeah.
definitely face paint. Face paint is always a fun time. It is
Well,
always a I don't have much face to paint, but it's always a fun time. I have done that in the past when I didn't have a beard.
fair enough. Fair enough. That's why you gotta like do like a superhero mask thing.
I
Like
could probably do that.
you
I
probably,
could probably do that.
that's what I have to do so I don't mess up my lipstick.
Oh no, we don't want to do that. No,
It's lucky.
we don't want to mess up the lipstick. And then there's a third thing I wanted to ask you about, which is the third venue I wrote down. It's August 27th at Wine Therapist in Dallas, Texas, from 8 to midnight. Is that right? Did I say that right? Where you're playing? It's Wine Therapist in Dallas, Texas, correct?
Yes.
Okay. The question I had about that is I'm not familiar with it. And I don't know if anybody else out there is familiar with it. So I thought maybe you could explain it. So maybe it brings some more awareness to it. What exactly is SANG, which is S.A.N.G.Texas? What exactly is that?
That's a little community of artists in Dallas that are trying to make art and like singing, singer-songwriter venues more accessible to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So they're trying to like put Songwriter in the Round things up. They have a YouTube channel where they like film things for people, and they're really, really sweet people. I just really like them, and they wonderful people, put together some great things, and it's gonna be fun. I think it's a Songwriter in a Round thing doing. So there'll be a couple other singers there, so people will be able to see like a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, and I really want to try my hardest to make that, because Melanie is actually from Dallas. She's from the east side of Dallas. So I think that would be, but don't tell her that, Melanie. I hope you, well, watch the show, Melanie, but put your ears on, because I want to kind of surprise her, because that way she can see her family and then go hear some good music afterwards. So that is definitely an event that I'm going to try to surprise Melanie with. So that should be a lot of fun. And I think it's going to be a good time. I haven't been to Dallas in a long time. And yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to have a heck of a lot of fun. So what I want to ask you real quick is Wildflower Road. That is your new band, or a band that you're a part of now, correct?
Yes, I'm a part of that band. I'm one of the lead. The other lead singer is Sage, and I also write for the band.
Oh yeah, awesome. Okay, so you guys, you've already played 2 dates out of a 3-date series at House of Blues in Houston. I know Wildflower Road is hosting that event. I was not able to make the first 2. I was planning on going to the 24th one, but something came up I wasn't able to get out of. So I missed the first 2. I do plan really hard to make the August 16th date, which is coming up. And it'll be a Saturday, second week of August. That one I absolutely plan to be at. How is that experience at House of Blues with all these musicians, and you guys are hosting it, but you're also performing? How is that event, the first 2 dates? What has that experience been like for you guys?
Well, I've got to say, being in a band, I love my solo gig and I love my band, but they're 2 entirely different animals. You know, when it's a solo thing, if you're showing up alone, you got to set everything up. You got to put it all together. You have to make sure everything's done. In the band, you can like divide and conquer. So it's actually a little less stressful, because I get there and I've already done my part, and my band, I just trust my bandmates have done their part, and it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it. And the House of Blues Foundation Room is gorgeous. It's so pretty in there, and very air conditioned. To anyone who's ever lived in Houston, very air conditioned is a good thing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I don't mind being out in the heat. If I know I'm going to be out in the heat beforehand, I'll just wear a little dress or something that keeps me cool. But every now and then you'll show up to a venue and you'll think it was inside, and you'll be there in your jeans and you'll go, uh-oh. This is about to be very sweaty.
I've had those issues before. I wear a dress too sometimes. They call it a kilt. I call it a dress. I wear it.
You gotta do it.
I'm Scottish, so that I had that working for me. So
okay.
I'll play it off, Celeste. I call it a kilt, and everybody is happy with it.
Yeah, what are they supposed to do? Get mad at you?
Sometimes they do, Celeste. The
Oh.
Italians in my family, they don't like the kilts. It is what it is. What am I going to do, Celeste? Tell them I'm not Scottish anymore?
Yeah. Just say
But I know what you mean about the free flow of air that comes up that direction. I mean, it really is very satisfying. It's very satisfying. With that being said, let's play a song. I'm kind of curious to hear a song. And then after we get done with the song, we're going to get into the questions that I have for Celeste. And it's going to be a lot of good time. So while Celeste sets up, yeah. Tell us a little bit about the song, Celeste, that you're going to be talking about. And how did that song come about when you were writing it?
So I'm going to play a song. I move my guitar case out of the way. Titled Marie. It is about my great-grandmother. And so for those who don't know, my middle name Marie is from my mom's side. And Jessie Marie was a piano teacher and a guitar teacher and a songwriter and a poet. But she wasn't published and she didn't get what she wanted to do because at the time it just wasn't really allowed. And my great-grandfather, his granddaddy Mac, he was a Bronco buster and a preacher, and they both lived out in Comanche, Texas. And Jessie Marie was supposed to marry this boy who lived in the area, who she just didn't think was cute. He wasn't sweet. Didn't bring her, he just wasn't manly enough, according to her, whatever that meant. Like, he just was not an attractive man, okay? You know, sometimes that happens. And they just didn't click. And she went out dancing one night and she met Granddaddy Mac, and she just was like, oh my gosh, he's so cute, but he was poor. And her family was very wealthy, you know, had a cattle farm, a lot of land. And so it was not a thing. They were like, you cannot be with this boy because he had dropped out of high school. There was family drama, let me tell you that. And he didn't have enough money to buy her even a wedding ring. He could not afford any of it. He couldn't afford a home, nothing. So he went and he rode the circuit and he did trick riding and bronco busting. And he made enough money that he could buy her a ring and build her house. And he came back and they ran off and eloped and got married without anybody knowing. They show up at Thanksgiving, you know, as you do when you have to drop family tea at Thanksgiving, and they went, BTW, we're married. Let's just say if you get married and elope, don't come to Thanksgiving and tell everybody that. Not a cool thing to do. Everybody was mad at them. They're like, you didn't invite us to the wedding. And they're like, well, we kind of just decided. Why are you telling us at Thanksgiving? You know, we're all here. It seems like a good time. But they were so in love. It was my grandma has a story about how when they were little, sometimes Granddaddy Mac would just have to pull over on the side of the road and stop driving, and he would look at his wife and say, I just needed to stop for a second to tell you how beautiful you are. That's the kind of love they had. He would have done absolutely anything for her. And I usually have a necklace on. I don't right now because it's in the shop, but I have this little necklace that's round and closes and opens and closes and is gold. And it is Jessie Marie's necklace that got passed down to me. And I was like, you know, I should really write a love song because I hadn't written anything distinctively about my family before. And then I just kind of started doing it, and there's so much I knew from my mom, listening to my mom and my grandma, my grandpa, and that side of my family, because we still have the ranch out there that was their property, which is why I'm out in Central Texas so much, because I just stay at the ranch. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write it and see what happens, and then I ended up really liking it.
All right. Here we go.
She wished on moonlit daisies. He learned to bronco bust. He knew he wanted her, just didn't have much. He worked a 9 to 5, 5 to 9 kind of shift. Rode the circuit just so she would look at him. He never saw it coming when she asked to dance. He knew he married her, just didn't have a plan. It was a wait and see, wedding ring fantasy. All he needed was a little bit of prize money. He said, Marie, will you wait for me at your father's place in Comanche? My mister in my wildest dream, who will love a boy like me. They ran off and married Romeo and Juliet. Your mama at the table, she prayed for patience yet. He was building houses, bringing roses, choosing names. Swore he'd never bring that girl an ounce of shame. She planted fields of flowers, sang him songs till noon. She said one day, I swear they'll sing songs of us true. Blue bonnet eyes, sunless skies, and the breeze of May. They'd have a girl by the time November came. He said, Marie, will you stay with me? Our place in Comanche, my missing rib, my wildest dream. You will love a boy like me. And if it rains, it rains, but this won't change, he said. Let the records play from yesterday and watch the world just
Mm.
Marie, will you dance with me? I'll find you in every laugh, just wait and see. Forgive me not my missing piece. Loving you was my only dream.
Very nice, very nice. That is a very nice line. I really felt you could tell the love story there that you were explaining. That's a hell of a good. I think we all want a relationship that embodies those kinds of things, right? I mean, that's when I think you found the right person, and you definitely can spend your whole life with that type of person. So it's a very well written song, man. Okay, let's get into some questions. The first question I want to ask you, and I told you at the party I wanted to ask you this, and I wanted you to kind of think about it for a little bit. It's interesting, anytime you do business with family members, it can go well and it can go rough. It can just be either or. And you and your mother are very, very similar. And not only your appearance, but also your personalities. I see a lot of you and your mother. Seems to me almost like you're like her little mini me. And I wonder, what is the dynamic like when you work with your mother as your manager?
I'm gonna tell you the 100% truth, Jay. You asked for it. Is my feet propped up on the dashboard in the car, us going 80 down the highway, me painting my toes in there, and we're gossiping about every boy at every party. That is what's going on.
That is a very interesting image. Let me ask you this though: has there ever come a time that your mother, since your mother has been your manager, that she wants your career to go kind of in a direction and you want to go kind of in a different direction? Or have you guys always been in sync with the direction in which your career is going to go?
I think since we're so similar, I don't think we've ever really had like a argument as to where my career is going, because it's always been my mom's like, I'm leading the way, and she just kind of follows where I'm going, so it's like and we've never really bickered about it. I don't know, I feel like the only time she would bicker is if I was going to do something wild, but I don't think I'm going to do something wild. Like if I did something weird, she'd be like, don't do that. But I don't really see that happening. Most of I think because we try to make everything fun, the industry's hard and will chew you up and spit you out. So you have to kind of make it fun. if you're going to a gig, find something that you can laugh about, even if something doesn't go right. Like, there was one time where my shirt almost fell off on stage because I was wearing this blouse thing that I thought was, like, so smart. It was not, and it almost came off. And I was like, but instead of, like, throwing a fit about it because people almost saw my shirt come off, we made it a joke and laughed about it in the car and had, like, a fun time with it instead, like, oh, that's so ridiculous. Or when you came to that gig that was kind of a weird gig, instead of down on ourselves about it and being like, man, we made the wrong move for this one, we laughed about it, and it's like a joke now, and we still joke about it. So most of, I think, avoiding conflict with anybody is making it fun and having a good time and trying to push it into more of this, like art's supposed to be fun. Like, it's serious, but the audience and you should be having a good time.
Oh, for sure. And that's it. Like, even like, and I thought, even though that one venue seemed to be off the beaten path of maybe a venue that you would typically book at, I really like the way that, your music came across to them. And if anybody was at that venue, all about 15 people that were at that one table, they actually liked your music. Like, there was no booing or like, where's this girl? Like, there was no heckling. There was no, like, they were vibing with it. And that's, if anybody was that kind of, I'm talking about a dive bar full of rockers and just gothic craziness. And then comes in Little Miss Sunshine and her guitar and her organ. And, you thought, oh man, she could get fed to the wolves. But no, I mean, it actually transcended a little bit and they actually were vibing with it. And that's the ability I feel like the ability of a good artist is one that can convey it that direction. And I thought you did a really good job of that. And I'm not just tooting your horn. I was actually there and I saw it firsthand that it was actually really a good thing to watch.
Yeah, we did have a moment where I told Jay before I got on, I was like, I am about to just like eat it on stage. I was like, I am so sorry. This is what you came to see because I do not think they're gonna like it. So I was really surprised when people were enjoying it. I was like, wow, I am just as shocked as y'all are.
Let me ask you this. I know I read something in an article that somebody was doing with you, and they were talking about the confidence that you're building in within yourself in terms of your music and things of that nature. And I know when you first started out early on in your music writing and putting songs out there, like for some of your earlier songs that you had written back in 23, maybe. I know I'm gonna get that number wrong. Is it 738 or 768 days? You had a song, correct?
Yeah, 738.
730. I knew I was gonna get that wrong, and I know you when you first started writing your music, you had talked about in that article how you lost some friends because of the experiences and things like that you were writing about, and maybe how people were having maybe negative connotations in terms of the quality of your material. And I know that you didn't let that detract you, and that actually built, I think, a confidence. You talked about building that confidence within yourself. And I kind of saw that. I think that was like another step in your confidence building when you went into a venue that maybe you weren't specifically, or your fans wouldn't, those types of fans. And then you were able to turn that venue into a positive experience with the fans and or the people there listening to your music. That had to be another confidence builder for you in that experience.
It was, yeah, I totally think it was. It was like, I got up there and I was having a moment where I was like, oh my gosh, they're not going to like it. I think I might get a little heckled. But not only was it just I didn't get heckled, it was also coming off stage and having like my mom and you and Melanie there. It was like, I have people to catch me when I feel like I might fall, Right. And when I started this, I had my mom to catch me, but outside of my family, I didn't really feel like I had anyone who could catch me when I fell. I was in a really bad place. I thought I was going to marry this boy, like actually going to marry him. I really did think that. And I went to a college because he wanted me to go to that college, and whatever he wanted, I was going to do.
Right.
And it came down to the fact that to him, I was just some girl that, you know, he could take places sometimes. And, you know, I found out that he had been talking to a lot of other girls, and we had been dating for 2 years. He'd been to all these family events with me, and apparently all that meant nothing, and I didn't know.
Right.
And I was not only like felt betrayed, but also like kind of like I felt stupid, you know? And then all of a sudden it was like, you know, make fun of Celeste. She didn't know, and everybody's supposed to know these things. And I was like, how was I supposed to know? I love somebody with my whole heart, and I'm not ever going to be embarrassed of that. You know, I've never apologized for loving someone completely and not like lying to them. I'm just not going to be embarrassed of that. But all of our friends were shared, so I lost not only the person I thought I was going to marry, but then all of our shared friends. And like, it was so bad that like my mom was driving me to school. I mean, it was like, it was an ugly breakup for me. And I was like, you know, I had enough self-respect the night we broke up. I threw out everything he'd ever gave me. I was like, blocked, not going to talk to you. I know that this isn't for me. You lied to me once, it's over. But it still was it affected me deeply, because then I was like, the only thing I honestly had left when that happened was like, I wasn't at the college I wanted. I didn't have the friends I thought I had. I didn't have a partner. I was like, all I really had that I could do was I had horseback and I had writing, so I could write. And that was it. And I was like, you know, and it was the night he broke up with me was the night before I met with HarperCollins, talking about my book publication, which I let fall through because it was about him. And I didn't want the first children's book I'd ever written to be about the boy who didn't love me, you know? Like, it was that level of, oh my gosh. And I haven't dated since, because I'm like, when I love somebody again, they're gosh darn gonna love me back. And it like makes sense that they don't, because love should be consistency and showing up. And when there is an issue, you talk about it and you move forward, and it should be mature. I was like, I'm not gonna allow myself to be used, because not only am I disrespecting myself, I'm disrespecting my parents who raised me better than that. You know, I'm disrespecting my siblings who look up to me. I'm disrespecting all these people around me, and I'm just not gonna let that happen. And so I started writing, and I was like, started writing songs too. And I was like, I'm gonna choose who I'm gonna be, and what other people say about me, I cannot let that decide who I am, or I'll be miserable the rest of my life. You know, I made an active choice that I choose who I am. And so I started writing and pushing myself and trying to be, you know, just like proud of what I had around me.
Absolutely. And I think, in my opinion, there is a beauty that comes out of that experience. One is that as a young lady coming up in the world, life is full of experiences, and it's those experiences that help shape and make who we are. That's what we have to. That's what we draw off of, is our personal experiences. And so, even though, and I love the vulnerability in which you not only went into that relationship, but the vulnerability that you put into your music about that relationship, and along of other things that you're learning as you go through your life. And so I think there is a beauty that comes out of that. And I know as hard as it hurts when somebody betrays you or things don't go the way you want them to go, we've all experienced it. I've experienced it. Mel, everybody has experienced it. It's how you come out of that experience that makes everything about who you're going to continue to grow to be. And so that's amazing. And again, you know, that's one thing I love about your music is there's an authenticity to it. It's not just you going in there and saying, okay, I'm gonna write about a bad break, or I'm gonna write about this, that, or the other, because then I think people will see through that in your music. But I think when you actually are writing about the experiences that you've been through, painfully or not painfully, you know, it's that authenticity that you put into that music that really resonates with not only yourself as a person, but as us as listeners.
Yeah, I try to be as honest as I can in my music. Sometimes I write a song and I don't know what it's about, because I'm like processing a feeling until months later, and I'm like, oh, that's who I was writing about.
Now, as I'm gonna flip this, I'm gonna speak out the other side of my mouth. As you know, I'm gonna speak for your dad for a minute.
Okay.
I don't think he wants to hear you sing "I send for you" or "If you pray for me." That probably is not going to be the authenticity that he's specifically looking for. And I'm just going to speak that as a man. And if my daughter was singing that and I came in, we would have a long conversation at the dinner table, along with a priest and a little bit of communion.
It's my dad's favorite song now. His new attitude is just he has guns and he knows how to use them.
Yeah. Sweetheart, it's only his favorite song because he knows now that it wasn't necessarily literally "I'm gonna sin." So that took a weight off of him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm only speaking from a perspective. I mean, I have a younger little daughter, and and so I can kind of relate and understand that. My second question, and then we'll go to your next song, and then we'll follow up with a few more questions, is what, if any, choice have you gotten on your musical journey that has resonated with you? So what choice have you made along this musical journey that has really resonated, or not choice. Let me rephrase. I apologize. This goes back to not being able to read my own writing sometimes. What, if any, advice, take out the word choice, what, if any, advice have you gotten on your musical journey that has resonated with you?
I think a piece of advice I got that resonated with me, and I'm going to turn it wasn't a good resonation. It was a bad, it resonated in an angry way. Was, I had some people tell me that I was not Texas enough for the Texas market. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
It made me mad because my family fought in the Texas Revolution. They've been here since before Texas was a state.
Right.
And I was thinking I'm not Texas enough for Texas. Well, you don't look Texas enough. You don't sound Texas enough. You're not. And it came down to was I wasn't classic country, which I love classic country, not a problem with it. But to try to kick me out of the state because you think I'm not going to fit in certain places the way you want me to. You want me to water down my authenticity and build it into something that I'm not.
Right.
That was offensive to me because then it became very personal and less about the music. I was like, oh, we're not going to go there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I don't know what that means. Texas is not, because in all honesty, if you really want to know what Texas is nowadays, it's a melting pot of everything and under the sun. So I don't know what that means. Not because, I just don't know what that means. I mean, because Texas has a lot of different things, in terms of, even if you want to go down the musical side of life, it has a lot of different, there's everything that's under the sun. Blue October came out of Houston area, Dallas area. And then you got the Ghetto Boys coming out of Houston and the rap scene. There's a lot of different things that have come out of here. So I don't know exactly what they mean by Texas enough. You're Texas.
They're like Texas enough, and then they started the other thing that resonated deeply with. Well, I'll give you two more because I like to do things in threes. So first thing was that I'm gonna give you another negative, and then I'm gonna give you a positive. There was some rumor going around, and it made me so mad that my mom was like a witch. That my mom was this wicked lady who was forcing me to sing, and I was like, what? And so now we have a joke where I call her Mother Gothel, and she thinks it's really funny.
That's awesome.
The third thing that I think resonated deeply with me was, I'm trying to remember where it was exactly so I can get the story right. I was in the Woodlands area, and anyway, they have this little performance area outside.
Yeah.
And it was about 6-7 months into my career, so I didn't have that much out. But I was out there performing, and it was a pretty good sized crowd. Like there were about 100 people because they were just walking around and stuff and stopping to listen. And there was this little girl, and she was standing there dancing like you know how little kids, like she was probably 2
Yeah.
3. You know how little kids dance like little wiggle worms? She was
Mhm.
dancing like a wiggle worm. And I was singing a cover of like Crazy in Love by Beyonce or something on the piano, and she was getting into it. And it was like we kind of like made this eye contact. She was having a good time and whatever. And it was this moment of, oh, this is why I'm doing it. Like, you know, like you can give a million reasons and this and that, but when you have a moment where you see someone, whether it be like a little kid being a wiggle worm or an older person feeling affected, but the little kid being a wiggle worm, I think was like, you know, there's no barriers, because when you're older, you mask your emotions a bit more. And I was like, this is kind of why I'm doing it. I want to see people just genuinely happy and genuinely affected, because like her night was a lot better because she got to dance and listen to a song and have a good time. And then she came up and she got her hands stuck in my hair, and like her and I were having a great time. I was like, you know, thanks. Like, and that's kind of why you do it. Like, just that reason. There's not really a word for it, I don't think. It's a little bit more than entertainment, but it affected me deeply because I was like, this is kind of why.
It's like the innocence and purity of watching somebody enjoy it, kind of like what you said earlier, because kids really don't mask anything. So you know it's authentic, like she really is truly out there and enjoying it. I can see how that would connect with you. I can see how that would resonate with you. That's amazing. All right, let's get into another song. Then we get some more questions. Celeste, what is your second song? How did it come about, and what is it called?
Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 choices, Jay.
Oh, I like choices.
But one you've heard or one I think you haven't heard?
No, one I haven't heard.
Okay. Alrighty then.
Let's go, Celeste. Let's get dirty.
Okay. I'm gonna explain what the song is about after I sing it. How about that?
However you want to do it. If you want to do that, that's fine too.
And excuse me, I do have a cold. You got the best talents money can buy. You're acting like a big shot on West Time to Drive. With your gifts and your feather and your 15 turquoise rings, you can want me, but it's just a fantasy. Kick it. Show me how, show me how, show me how you teach me to sing. Show me how, show me how, show me how you're more intense than the man. Show me how, show me how, show me how you're living the dream. Show me how, show me how, show me how you're better than me. You got the worst habits money can buy. The only counting you've been to is the counting of your lies. With your cigar and your six pack, while you laughing like a mule, talking about how you use a woman as a tool. You wanted a confession, but you ain't a priest. You backwater, sweet talker, done it and don't change. Show me how, show me how, show me how you teach me to sing. Show me how, show me how, show me how you're more dancing than me. Show me how, show me how, show me how you're living the dream. Show me how, show me how, show me how you ride better than me. Toe to toe, nose to nose, the devil's quick but he don't know. He will reap what he will sow. Don't make me go down demon road, and don't you dare lie to me. I'm not blind, I can see a rattlesnake in front of me, but don't you dare tread on me. Show me how, show me how, show me how you teach me to sing. Show me how, show me how, show me how you're more Texan than me. Show me how, show me how, show me how you're living the dream. Show me how, show me how, show me how you're better than me.
I like that. So give me the backstory.
Backstory time. Okay, so there are a lot of times where I will come in to a room and I'm dressed how I'm normally dressed. I've got my sundress, my roller blowout, you know, my red lipstick that I always wear, kind of things like that. My fingers are done, my cute little guitar, and like I'm very girly. You know, I'm a girl, and I'm glad I'm a girl. I would have made an ugly boy, so I'm like, thank goodness I'm a girl. And I'll come in, and there will be somebody, and they will be like, they'll talk down to me, and I'm like, okay. Like I'm all about having a guy help me. You know, if a guy wants to carry my stuff, thank you. I didn't want to carry it. That's wonderful. But when you're standing there and you're looking at me, and then you're telling me a million things that I should have been doing that they do, like, oh, you know, honey, you really need this different guitar string, and then they start picking you apart, and then they talk down to you, and they're like, well, I have this gig, I'm a part of this, I'm like, okay, you're getting weird and competitive, and I'm trying to be your friend. And I have had a couple instances with a bunch of different people. The first one was I was in Louisiana, and I had the possibility of getting signed by a major record company. And the person who was offering to sign me was basically like, we're going to rehash you, you know, we're going to make you this, we're going to make you that, put you in a different package, like Charlie XCX. And Charlie XCX, no hate to her, but I don't know if you've ever seen her videos, but that would have given my father a heart attack. 5 times. Died. I was like, I can't be doing that. I'll get in so much trouble, girl. You know? And that was the first time. And then I started to realize a lot of the people around me were buying their fan bases, you know, they're buying their songs. Like, it was like they were just throwing money at things in order to get to a certain level.
Right.
And none of it was real. Like, you know, and I went up to one of these people, and, you know, they're dressed like in their little cowboy outfit. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like, where are you from? They're like, from up north. They've never touched a horse. I'm like, oh. I'm like, okay. I was like, and now you're sitting here telling me how I'm not country enough. Why? Like, and it was those tiny instances again and again. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write a song, because they made me mad. And so I sat on the bed with my mom, because my mom and I will have what we call a business meeting. I don't know, a business. And we'll get, you know, those cheap margaritas?
I do. Melanie makes them all the time.
They're wonderful. We have cheap margaritas. We're hitting the top of our glass with our spoons, because we are eating our margaritas with a spoon. Hit the top of the glass. We go, business meeting. Go into my room, and we'll talk about, like, kind of like the gossip of the week, like what was going on, who said what to who. And there was one week where we had our business meeting, and there was like, girl, that happened to me every day that week. At every open mic, this thing of people like talking down to me had happened. Well, I'll teach you how to sing. And I'm like, they'll be like, and it makes you mad. And
yeah.
I'm like, no. And I get probably about 50% of the time, I think they're trying to flirt, and it's just going over like a lead balloon. But it was like, I was sitting there, and then I got my guitar. I was like, you know what? This business meeting is hitting so hard, I need to sing this business meeting. And I just sat there with my mom, and I started to write it, because I was like, they just have the best talent money can buy.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, hey, when you're inspired, I think you really do have to start writing when you're in that moment, so you don't lose that momentum with it.
Yeah, and I was like, show me how. If you're so good, show me how.
No, I agree. You know, one thing I have, this is, I've been listening to you for a while. The one thing that I've noticed about your sound is you come and you'll punch somebody in the mouth with that sound, and then you kind of back off and let them recover, and then you kind of come back and you punch them one more time, and then let them recover. I mean, is that something that consciously, you know, you come out and you'll give the hard voice, and then you'll kind of give the softness, and then you'll come back? Because I noticed that kind of resonates in a lot of your songs.
Yeah. So before I did all this, I started on piano, like doing classical music kind of thing, because both of my parents played classical piano. And then I also did full orchestra and whatnot. And when you think about classical music, like let's take Beethoven's work, da 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 da, how it gets really loud and then really quiet. So I'm writing my music, I think, a little bit about that kind of stuff, because by having those dynamic changes, you know, instead of me just hearing something that's like and it's the same the whole time. You're caught off guard because you're like, I know what's happening next, and then something entirely different happens. It's a different texture. Like if I was painting a painting and I had one paintbrush and one color, it's going to be a lot harder to get an interesting painting than if I had like 10 paintbrushes and 5 colors. Now all of a sudden I can mix my colors together and get different textures with the paintbrushes, and it takes a little longer to learn how to use them all. But once I get them, I can make a bigger, more intricate painting.
Yeah, absolutely. Because because I know, like a lot of times, like if you're in the rock scene, in Metallica or what have you, they're just straight balls to the wall, hard, whatever. And then it seems, and I think that's where maybe the country aspect of it or the Southern rock aspect comes into it, where, like like you said, like the orchestra, like where you kind of had the soft moments and the hard moments and the soft moments. I think you get more of that texture in the Southern rock, and going even into country, you see that a lot. So it's interesting. I just noticed, the more I've listened to your music, it has that feel, which I like. I mean, I like the dramatics and I like the backing off. I think it just gives it a much more textured approach to the song.
Yeah, I agree. I like, well, that, and I have to let my drama out somewhere, like I can't,
I tell you.
I have so much energy. I'm holding it all back. So when I get to that note, I can share a little.
What would you say to someone thinking of putting their music out there, but like you said, like kind of what you went through, putting their music out there, but maybe might be scared of criticism and blowback if they do it? Like, how would you, what advice would you give yourself or somebody like yourself who may have not known how it was going to be?
If you're worried about the criticism happening, it's probably already happening.
Yeah.
It's probably already going on. And you putting it out isn't going to make it happen or not happen. It's just going to let you know for certain if it is or isn't. And do you really want to spend your whole life with people who don't actually like you?
Very, very good words. And that's kind of how I feel about it. Sometimes you just got to say, and to keep it, because Logan will get mad at me if I cuss. I am not going to cuss. If you say F it, sometimes you just got to say F it and just go balls to the walls. What's the worst that's ever going to happen, right? Because I believe my philosophy in life is very similar to that of a gambler. I believe you can't get the earnings if you don't put it in the middle. So if you don't put your poker chips in the middle, you can't get pissed off.
That's
if
what
you
my
leave the table.
Says. If you want to win the lottery, you got to buy a ticket.
And I really believe that is a very simplistic way of successfully going through life. I think sometimes you just have to do it. And I think a lot of times,
And also, sometimes, and this goes back to looking at your life from an outside perspective, not as you. Sometimes you think things like when I was broken up with and I was like, I lost all my friends. I didn't really lose all my friends. There were friends that I had that he had never met. Like I had my friends in horseback. I had my friends at church. And we, as people, and this is totally normal, have a tendency to, when we're in a bad place, to feel like there's no way out. And instead of like looking at all the losses, you need to start looking at some of the wins. And the losses aren't losses either. Like if you lose, I've learned more from losing than I think I ever have from winning.
Yeah. I think Derek Jeter, from retired Derek Jeter from the Yankees, said that to the best. He goes, failure is necessary in life because failure is where you grow. That's what makes you, is the failure. You're going to fail in life. If you look at baseball is a losing sport. If you look at the batting average of a good baseball player at 303, 0.303 of 1,000, that's failure. But in baseball, it's success. And I think that's kind of how I look at, I think what you're saying. You can't be afraid to fail because you're going to fail. But through the failure breeds success.
Yeah. No, failing is great. Like really it is. Like it's, and making sure that when you fail that you don't hide it. You know, some people, they're like, I failed and I don't want anyone to know. But like sometimes failing in front of someone is like the best thing you can do, because not only does it make you feel closer with that person, it kind of like, it helps you out. Like you're like, it helps everybody out by having like when I failed, and it was like a fail but not a fail, but when I kind of failed in my gig and had like a weird gig in a weird venue, being there and then being able to have a friend there, being able to rely on that friend and count on that friend, and then also, you know, being able to kind of like make a weird in front of everybody, and then people enjoying it. Like that failure, even though before it started, I was like, this is such a failure. By the end, the people in front of me didn't think it was a failure. You didn't think it was a failure. My mom didn't think it was a failure. And I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't a failure. Maybe I'm just a little extra hard on myself because I spend every day with me.
Well, I hope you do. If you're not, I want to know where you are. What kind of drug got you there?
I don't know. I think if you gave me an energy drink, I would not be spending every day with me. I don't think we want to know what I'm like with that much caffeine.
Celeste on energy drink.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, I almost thought, and I wrote this in my notes, I remember watching the video or the clip that you had on Facebook, and it's you running around your house singing like you do, and you jump on the couch and you do this grand pose, and then the camera flashes over to your mother, and your mother is giving you the look of like, I don't even know if I've made the first payment on that couch. Could you please get the hell off? You know, she had that look. You know the look I'm talking about.
I know the look you're talking about.
Yeah, like, get off my damn couch. What are you doing?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, my mom, I have always been like very like, the only time I've ever been like truly tired in my life was I worked at a coffee shop for about 8 months, okay? And every morning I'd wake up at 3:30 a.m. because I opened the coffee shop, and I would get there at 5 and I would work until 12. And I would get off and I would work on my music stuff until probably about 11 p.m. 6 months of that, I was tired. That's how you get me to run out of steam. But other than that, it's like I'm pretty energetic. Like I wake up like this, and people don't realize I wake up like this. But I had a writer's camp at my family ranch, okay? And I had all these different songwriters come out, you know, and one of the guys out there seemed to be not convinced that I woke up as early as I said I woke up, you know, and not convinced that I was actually that energetic 24/7. And I've got to say, by the second day, the family ranch, everybody was like, no, Celeste wakes up that early and she's that excited about life, and I wish she had stopped. Like I was at 5 a.m. hit, I am up out of the bed. I am going to the grocery store. Come on, give me something to do. Give me something. Oh, speaking of that, this is so off the beaten path. I got chased by a wild hog, and I got in so much trouble, Jay. I got in so much trouble. My uncle.
You get chased off a path by a wild hog. What were you doing to be on the path that a wild hog would be in the first place? It's probably running through my head. But does it surprise me? Honestly, no.
My uncle said, Celeste Marie, do not go out into the pasture. Why?
Because there's hogs.
There's nothing out there. There's nothing out there, duh. And so everybody leaves, it's just me and my mom. And I'm like, I'm going to go on a walk. And my mom's like, okay. And so I'm like, I take my dog. I go in the pasture. And I'm out there pretty far. And my dog, he's not on a leash. We have there's a lot of land out there. He's not going anywhere.
Right.
And I'm walking. I'm in I have these wiener dog boots. They're like rubber boots, and they have these wiener dogs on them. They're great. Great for walking around in. And I'm out there in the pasture, and my dog whimpers, turns around and starts running. And I'm like, why are you crying? There's nothing out here. And I look, and across, there's this little tank, little pond. Across the way, there is a wild boar.
Nice.
I go, oh my god. So, like a smart person, I ran in a perfectly straight line. I was like going as fast as I could, and I'm a fast runner, but I'm not a wild hog. And
No.
that hog caught up to me real fast. He was mad. Yeah, apparently I looked like eating size to him, and it was big. It was not like it was a small pony kind of size. Like still,
it had some weight to it.
Yeah, I was like, you're gonna eat me. And out in Central Texas, all the trees are like so short. I was like, what am I gonna climb? A bush? So, I'm running, and I'm like, okay, this is it. You know, I'm saying my little prayers in my head. My dog's so far ahead of me, I think he's just gonna run home and leave me there, and then the pig's gonna eat me. And I was like, it is what it is. No, my dog turns around. He's mad. I've never seen my dog this mad in my life. Hackles up, and then he takes straight towards the hog, like runs past me, and I'm like, oh my god, the hog, my dog. And so I'm out in the tall grass now. I don't know where I am. I'm lost, and also very itchy because it is tall grass. And I hear the in the like he's running fast, and then it goes quiet. And I go, oh my god, the pig ate my dog.
The pig ate Dipper?
That's what I thought. But then I see tall grass movement. And it's my dog. And so apparently he like ripped up the hog's back leg. Like there's like some tendon there, and he grabbed it and ripped it so it couldn't chase us. So we got home. I didn't get eaten by a hog. And then my uncle went out and he took his gun.
He out there basically took care of the hog.
Well, the hog, he had tried to kill the hog before, but he couldn't because every time the hog saw him, he would run away with the gun on, because hogs aren't stupid, you know? And so, but he couldn't run away because his leg was hurt. And I was like, anyway, that's my story about being chased by a wild hog and having my dog save my butt,
So did the dog come back? Well, first of all, so you're out there, you're itchy, you're lost, and Dipper's pissed.
Yeah.
And then you get home, and Dipper's looking at your uncle and saying, I did the heavy work, going out there and handling my lightweight.
Yeah.
Dipper's a hell of a dog.
He's a good dog. That's why I've been mad at him all weekend, because he wasn't doing what I was saying. But then all the mad gone. I was like, you are the best dog. You did a real one. But it was very scary in the moment. So now I'm kind of scared of pigs. I am eating extra pig this year, so you know.
Hey, I love good bacon. Don't ever be afraid of bacon. Bacon's good. It's good for you.
Yeah. Well, you know, I learned either eat or be eaten that day. Like,
should try to ride it. What? What? You didn't have an English saddle to ride it on?
Nope.
All right. Hey, real quick.
It's a dream.
So what? By the way, if you want to see what Celeste and her weenie dog boots, put it in the comments, and I'm sure she'll send you a pic. What venue so far has been your favorite venue to perform at?
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna give you my top two. Okay. So one of my favorite places to perform at is called Trilogy Brew. It is a little coffee house, and I perform there probably once every 2-3 months, and it is the first place I had a gig at.
Okay.
And I love it because every time a bunch of people come that I know who just like frequent the coffee shop, and I know the baristas, and it's just a really cozy, supportive place. Second favorite place, shout out Jay McMinn. I really like performing at your house. I had a great time. I was fed. I had a fan on me. The fan and I had a little squabble at first, but then we got along. You know, I got to meet like all of your family. I had a great time. I don't know if you saw me over there, but I was absolutely chatting, a total chatterbox.
No, they love it. They no, seriously, they love it. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure The majority of them now are probably stalking you in your following section just to find out where you're playing at. By the way, Greg Hughes, I saw you liking one of Celeste's little videos on Facebook, and I know Greg loves your music, so I definitely think you earned a lot of fans out there that day. And of course, we obviously loved having you and Carson playing there, and that's how McMahon family rolls, man. Look, if you come out to the McMahon party, if you don't have a good time, I'll go out there and fire my wife, and I'll get another lady up in here. No, I'll say, Celeste, that's how it rolls in my house. You're gonna have thick skin, girlfriend.
Yeah. And your dog is so cute. I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know if he's a hog eater, but he's pretty cute.
Yeah. Blue is that's my boy Blue, man. Everybody loves Blue.
He's so sweet. I was like, oh my gosh.
I
love dogs so much.
And he's quite the socialite. Believe it or not, he's quite the socialite, Blue. He has no problems coming and having a conversation. And if you want to throw a little liquor at him, he'll probably suck some of that down too. That's why he's in the McMahon household, because little liquor goes a long way. Not a lot, not a little thimble full. That makes him happy. Keep him happy. My other thing was, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, mine's terrible. He's got that herding dog mentality. You put him in a group of people, he's like, and y'all are going to go in this corner, and y'all are That's like, great, now I have to put you up.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, you do have a herding dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's doing his job.
On me. Yeah, that's on me.
Yeah, he's doing his job. That's what he's supposed to do. Herd people. That's what he does.
Obviously, that's his favorite thing to do is wait till I get in the pool. And then he loves to swim with me, but every now and then he gets to be in his bonnet, and he's like, and you go in that corner. I'm like, no.
This is my pool. You are not hurting me today.
Nope.
Time to feel alive. How did you become I want to go back to Wildflower Road just for a second. How did you actually become a member of Wildflower Road? Did they see you performing and invited you, or how did that come about?
So I did a folk competition a while back. I can't remember the exact details of it. And they were there, and then I went over and I was riding with Kirk, the leader of the band, like the guy who set it all up to begin with. And we kind of talked and would write sometimes, and then he was like, oh, I'm starting a new band. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then he was like, do you want to join? And I was like, sure. like it was like, we just kind of knew each other. We'd been writing, we'd been friends. And then it's like, it just kind of lined up and worked out. That was not a way to show lined up. Lined up and worked out.
But I like it. So it's an organic thing. Like you guys knew it. He knew what you brought to the table. You obviously knew what he brought to the table. So yeah. Okay. I was just curious how you guys formed, and it's interesting that that's how you guys did form. So that's cool. I got one last question for you, and this one I really want you to think about for a second. Yeah. This is how we're gonna end the question session, and then we'll put out some stuff, and then we'll get you out of here. Dolly Parton, Reba McEntire, I can't believe I'm saying this name. Taylor Swift, Jelly Roll. Who would you want to co-write a song with?
Dolly Parton.
Nice.
Dolly Parton. I mean, I have to. Hello?
Yeah.
I mean, her music, I feel like, I know that she's a country artist, but when you listen to her music, she has a lot of fusion. Even in 9 to 5, it's not purely country. It's not purely Southern rock. There's like a mix. And, even though I don't think I'm even half as good as her, I think getting the chance to write with her could like really help me see things that I wouldn't see before, when writing.
Yeah, and she is, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure, isn't she in the Rock and Roll Music Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't discount Dolly.
Don't discount nobody discount Dolly. I love Dolly.
It's like you can't put baby in a corner. Don't box her. Don't box her. If you guys want to catch more of Celeste Marie Wilson, you can find it on Instagram under Celeste. All of this can be under Celeste Marie Wilson, by the way. But she's on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can also go to our website and go to CelesteMarieWilsonMusic.com, and you can get mugs and shirts and all kinds of stuff that she koozie holders. By the way, I am going to buy me because I do every now and then like to have a good can of beer and Modelo's. So I am going to get me a little Celeste Marie Wilson koozie holder. But all that stuff is available on her website as long as her music, anything you want to know about Celeste is on CelesteMarieWilson.com. I can't promote that enough. It's a good place if you want to find out where she's going to be at and what she's doing and what songs are coming out. So make sure you guys check out her Facebook page. Go to YouTube, give her a subscribe, help her generate some money off of YouTube. We all love that. Celeste, man, I can't tell you how much I love you, girl, and I appreciate you coming back on the show. And I know you're going to be at the July 11th party. That's going to happen. And also, I need to know that as you go forward, because you will be bigger than Taylor Swift. I'm calling it right now. I'm letting you know. Jay McLovin said it here first that Celeste will be bigger than Taylor Swift. I think the more you guys get to know her music, you're going to see why I say that. It really is good stuff that she's putting out over there. And I fully expect to have annual invites of you coming back on to the show if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I will always come on whenever you want me. Jay, you got my number. Just text me, say, Celeste, get your butt on the show. And I'll be like, I have to. Jay said.
That's right. Damn it. At least one person loves me. But that having been said, again, man, check Celeste Marie Wilson out. I think you're going to be impressed with her. Until next time, it's your boy, Jay McLovin, saying this is how we do.